What if a police chase ended an elderly man's game of memories? What if they refused to take the blame? In South Dakota, 85-year-old Martin Foster lost a connection to his son. But his community set the board for healing. Stay tuned for a story of broken squares, betrayal, and a checkmate of love. In the quiet suburb of Prairie Hills, South Dakota, the plains stretched wide under a big sky. The scent of fresh hay drifted on the breeze. Here, Martin Foster had lived for over 6 decades. He was an 85-year-old widower with a thoughtful mind. Martin had bought his $170,000 ranch home with his late wife in 1960. It was a home filled with echoes of strategy and laughter. On the cool morning of August 10, 2028, Martin sat in his study. He set up a wooden chessboard on a small table. The board, hand-carved by his son David, had been a gift for Martin's 50th birthday. David, who passed away at 35 in a hiking accident, had loved their chess matches. "Your move, Dad," David would say with a grin. Martin moved a pawn, smiling at the memory. His voice was soft. "I still hear you, son." The sound of a distant wind rustled the grass outside. Prairie Hills was a peaceful neighborhood. But that morning, chaos erupted. A police chase tore through the streets. They were pursuing a thief who had stolen from a local pawn shop. Sirens wailed loudly. Tires screeched on the gravel roads. Martin looked up, startled. His hands rested on the chessboard. The chase moved toward Martin's house. The thief, desperate, ran through his front yard. 2 officers chased him on foot. One officer, 34-year-old Ryan Mitchell, entered Martin's home through an open window thinking the thief was inside. In his haste, he knocked over the table in the study. The chessboard fell to the floor, cracking down the middle. The pieces scattered across the room. Martin rushed to the scene, his heart sinking. "David's board." "No," he gasped. Tears welled in his eyes. Mitchell froze, seeing the broken chessboard and Martin's distress. He quickly left to pursue the thief. "Sir, I'll be back," he called out. His voice was tense. Martin knelt by the shattered board, gathering the pieces. The board had been a symbol of David's love, their shared games, their bond. The crack in the wood felt like losing his son again. The pain was sharp in his chest. The officers caught the thief a block away. Mitchell returned to Martin's home, seeing him still on the floor, clutching the broken board. "Sir, are you okay?" he asked. His voice was hurried. Martin's voice trembled. "My son made this. We played every Sunday," he sobbed. His hands shook as he held a cracked pawn. The study felt colder without the board's presence. Mitchell radioed for backup. The static crackled as he spoke. "We've got a civilian upset, situation under control," he said. His tone was dismissive. Neighbors rushed into Martin's home. They gasped at the sight of the broken chessboard. Some knelt beside him. His sobs grew softer. The scattered pieces mirrored the scattered pieces of his heart. Martin couldn't bear to look at the chessboard for days. The cracked wood was a painful reminder of his loss. He thought of David, his clever moves. There, laughter over each game. "Checkmate, Dad," David would say, beaming with pride. Now the games were over. Tears fell as Martin sat in silence. The prairie wind whispered through the window. The Homeowners Association took action. The HOA president, 49-year-old Ellen Carter, had known Martin for years. Ellen's father had played chess with Martin and David. A neighbor's security camera had captured the incident. The footage showed Mitchell entering the house and the chessboard breaking. It showed Martin's devastated reaction. "But, officer," Mitchell denied responsibility. "The board was already damaged," he claimed. His voice was cold. "We didn't cause his distress." Ellen's heart broke for Martin. She held the camera footage tightly. "This is wrong," she said to the HOA board. Her voice was firm. "Martin deserves his games with David back." The board agreed to fight for him. They hired a lawyer to sue the police department. The rustle of legal documents filled their meeting room. Martin's loss became their cause. The community would not let him grieve alone. The trial took place in a local courthouse. Residents packed the gallery. Their footsteps echoed on the tile floor. Martin sat in the front row. His hands trembled as he held a photo of him and David playing chess. His eyes were red from crying. The lawyer played the camera footage. The CU video filled the screen. It showed Mitchell's reckless entry and the chessboard breaking. It showed the pieces scattering. Gasps filled the courtroom. The evidence was clear. Officer Mitchell took the stand. He shifted uncomfortably. "I didn't see the board," he lied. His voice wavered. The judge's gaze was sharp. "The footage contradicts your statement," she said. Her tone was stern. The lawyer pressed further. "You saw Mr. Foster? In distress. Why didn't you take responsibility?" he asked. Mitchell hesitated. I was focused on the suspect," he said. The courtroom murmured in disbelief. Martin spoke next. His voice trembled as he stood. "David carved this board. We played every Sunday," he said. Tears streamed down his face. "It was our time, our connection." He held up the photo, David grinning over a checkmate. "When it broke, I lost him again." The courtroom fell silent. Jurors wiped their eyes. Ellen squeezed Martin's hand. The judge delivered her verdict. Her gavel slammed down with a resounding thud. "Officer Mitchell, you are guilty of reckless destruction," she declared. Her voice boomed. "You caused harm and lied about it." The department was ordered to pay Martin $4,300 in damages. Mitchell faced a unique penalty. He was required to join a local chess club and craft a new chessboard himself. The courtroom erupted in applause. Martin's neighbors cheered for him. Mitchell spent weeks in the chess club, learning the game and its strategies. He also worked with a carpenter to craft a new chessboard, his hands unsteady at first. The process made him reflect on Martin's pain. He carved a new board, staining it a warm walnut color, and added a small engraving of a knight. On a quiet morning, he arrived at Martin's home. He carried the new chessboard carefully. "Mr. Foster, I'm so sorry," he said. His voice was soft. He set the board on the table. Martin nodded, his eyes misty. The community had more in store for Martin. Ellen and the neighbors planned a special event. They called it Martin's Chess Tournament and set up tables in the community center. On the day of the event, neighbors of all ages gathered to play chess. Martin sat at the new board, playing against a young boy. "Your move," Martin said, smiling. His voice was warm. The room buzzed with laughter and strategy. Martin looked around, his heart full. He thought of David, his clever moves, their shared Sundays. "You'd love this, son," he whispered. His voice was tender. The community had given him more than a chessboard. They had given him connection. Prairie Hills became a symbol of justice and love. Martin smiled as he moved a piece. The game with his son lived on, and so, a broken chessboard became a battle for justice in Prairie Hills, South Dakota. Martin Foster found joy through his community's love. How would you revive a cherished game? What do you think? Should communities fight for connection? Share your thoughts. Join us next time for another tale of justice. Until then, keep standing up for what's right. Thank you for listening.